Hello, and welcome to a session of Mentoring Movement with me, Brad Stoller. So glad you could join me. Today I have some interesting, more yoga-like movements to explore with you today. So to begin with, just sit comfortably in a cross-legged position if that's comfortable. We're going to go to a position where your feet are together in a moment. But for now, just sit cross-legged and notice which one of your legs you have in front. Which one is more comfortable? For me, it's my right leg. And it's pretty clear because if I were to switch them, it doesn't feel as comfortable. It's gotten more comfortable over the years for me, but it's just easier the other way. So I'm going to go back to my first way with my right leg in front, and I'll notice, to begin with, what is the kind of sense of my sit bones on the ground? Which part of my sit bone am I sitting on? And I notice I'm more on my left, and that I'm kind of balancing a little bit. It feels like my line is over, my plumb line is over my left side. So if I shift that just a little, just to feel the difference, it definitely, how do I shift? Do I shift over, as in tipping, kind of tipping myself over to the right? Or is there a way to kind of move from underneath? And I want to find that out. And so I'm going to move both ways. First way, kind of the top over, and then the second way, just shifting from the ground. And I'll do that a couple of times, just to feel, oh, do I then just give it up and I return? Or is it possible to shift between the two, to shift from my left sit bone to my right and from my right to my left, rather than fall back to where I was, this shift, until it feels a little bit more normal. I'm going to change my legs now and notice, do I still, is it the experience of sitting on my sit bones the same, or has it changed because my legs have changed? And the reason I'm doing this is because we are going to have our soles of our feet together in a moment, and just to feel this early comfort level. So again, shift, and if I can exaggerate right now and shift over one way, over the other, but notice, oh yeah, it is a little bit different. Noticing difference is what I want to do here. And noticing if I move over on top of myself or if I move from the floor up through myself. And I want to start to encourage that from the floor and up and through. Now take a breath and find something that feels fairly even between the two sit bones. And before we put the soles of the feet together, I want you to lower your chin towards your sternum a bit. Just lower it and notice, did you fall into one of your hips more than the other? Or is it possible to kind of rise up so that the lowering of the chin is really a lengthening of the whole back of your body, and the chin coming forward, and then just go a little ways the first time, and when you decide to lift the head, instead of, well, actually the first time, lift your head from lifting your head up above, like I'm from the top lifting myself up as if a string were pulling me up from the top of my head, and then lower again a little bit, and the next time you come up, see what it's like to come up from the bottom. Can you trace a line up through yourself to bring the head back into what feels like horizon or level? And then breathe in this place and go a little bit further again, and see if you can begin, as you begin lowering your chin, let the pelvis also kind of tuck under as you go. So you tuck under a little bit, so you round the back. And notice where you've rounded, in what vertebra, if you are able to notice. And when you come back up from the pelvis through the sacrum, through your spine, to rise back up onto the horizon. Do that a couple of times, just rounding and then returning. And then switch your feet. I did it as I rounded back. You might do it another way. You might find, and find, does this evenness or lack of evenness, are you able to play and find, I'm a little bit to the left here, and then, it changes a little bit to the right, and what part of my spine goes down, and what part of my spine goes back. So you're playing in a level in your spine. Which level is it? Is it up here? And the next time you do it, choose a different place to move from, so that it's not just lowering the chin, it's not just curling the pelvis, but you're moving from a very specific place in your spine. Choose maybe between the shoulder blades as a place that leads you backward. And then the next time, choose another place, maybe somewhere the base of the rib cage or the top of the lumbar spine. And then leave all that. Just come and lie on your back for a moment. Just find a way to bring yourself into connection with the floor, where the floor is lifting underneath you. You sense your breath coming and going in a way that enlivens you. Every time you exhale, you can wait for a moment. And as you wait, try to discover the moment where the breath starts. It's really, our breath is kind of like it appears and disappears. It's disappearing. How does it disappear? Where does it go? And then when you inhale, does it come from everywhere? Does it start in one central place? Does it spread out evenly through your body? See if you can try a few different places, just for variety. Can it start by filling up the lower part of you maybe first, or the back part of you first, and then the front part of you? And because we're going to be doing something sitting in a moment, we're going to practice it for a moment. So take your left leg and bend it up and get a hold of your left foot with your right hand on the sole and the left hand under the ankle. This will be mirroring what we do on the ground, sitting in a moment. And just feel for a minute. Let your heel come down towards your pelvis, towards your groin. Just lower it. And then lengthen it up towards the ceiling. You might combine it with your breath. But put your mind inside of yourself, inside of the movement itself. See if you can picture the front of your sacrum, the inner part of your bowl of your pelvis, and also the bones of the legs, and just sense that this movement, maybe it started out being a little bit more peripheral, that is, the foot moving away, but see if you can find how the leg extends from deep inside the pelvis, the sacrum, And that as you lengthen the foot a little bit towards the ceiling, and then as you bring it back, that there's a centrally located idea here. Once you've done that, find a place where it's comfortable, that the leg is lengthened towards the ceiling, but you're not straining to keep it there. It's somewhere that feels fairly comfortable. And you're going to begin to bring your foot and your head towards each other. They move towards each other, and then they go away. And again, the first couple of times you do this, it may be, oh, peripheral. It's my head and my foot that are moving towards each other. That's what he said. That's what we're doing. But then find a way that it becomes a movement in your spine, in the front of your spine, through your chest, that you are rounding and you're bringing these two parts close together. You're not straining. You can hear me still speaking easily, not straining. But notice which part of your spine are you using? Are you using the left side, the right side? And I'm going to ask you right now to actually do it mostly on the left side, the side of the leg that you're moving. You're bringing your head and your foot close together by moving into the floor with the musculature right along the left side of your spine. So you can move it, and then you can, when you come back to the floor, in a sense, you're lifting yourself back to the floor instead of falling to the floor. And this is something I'll repeat in all my lessons, is that you rise from the floor affords you that. You lift yourself, and you lift yourself also back to the floor. And then release that foot. Give it a break. Let the leg come down. Notice how your back feels with the floor. Notice what your breathing is like on one side or the other. And instead of doing the other side, we're going to stay with this side but go into sitting. So how is it that you roll to your side? I want to roll to my left. I'm going to come and I'm going to sit with the soles of the feet together. So here are my soles of the feet together, and I've had that little warm up about before. But what's it like to bring the right hand underneath the sole, the ankle of the left foot, and the left hand on the ankle, and then pick it up and go down. And notice, how do you do? Do you lean the whole body back to pick the foot up? Is that how you do it? Do you stay and you lift the leg separate in the hip socket? Try both. Try both of them and just see, do you move your back? Does the head go down? And then lift the foot, find place on your sit bones, and move your foot a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. And again, this can be done very peripherally, very much on the outside of yourself, or it can be something you do in your pelvis with the musculature inside your legs and the groin. And it's possible to move the head along with the foot. So I'm moving my head, my foot together, a little left, a little right. Or it's possible to move my head in the opposite direction. Where do I turn from, though, when I do that? Do I turn all the way from my sit bones? Do I turn somewhere in the middle of my back? It's a question. Then return to moving your head and your foot together, and then placing the foot back down. And rest for a moment. Just let it go. See how you feel. Notice the plumb line of yourself. Reach under and get a hold of your foot in the same way. lift the foot. Again, you might notice you might move from the base of your spine to do this, and to now move the foot towards and away from your head, and away. And notice, where do I curve? And can you make this into a circular action? How can you find this? Or do you find it? So I'm circling it in one direction right now, but I can also find how to circle it the other direction. So my head and my foot get far away from each other, then they get close, and then they get far, and then they get close, and then they get far. Rest again. And just notice what that has done for you, what kind of balance you have on your sit bones, what your experience is like. And get a hold of your foot again, same foot. And notice, the lifting now, do you want to rock and lift? Or are we going to do something, we did something a little before, but now, what would it be like to circle the foot in this plane? So it's the same plane as the wall behind me. I'm moving my foot in this circle, but if I just think about moving the foot, my pelvis might not move a whole lot of things. So I'm actually moving from someplace deep inside of my pelvis, deep inside of my spine, to go the other direction now. And we've explored 3. There's a way to move in this plane. What do I do my pelvis to move this way? So that the circle I'm making is level with the ceiling and the floor. Or with the walls to either side of me. And there's a way of doing this circle where the foot and the head get far away and then close, and far and then close, either direction. There's also a way to do this where the head and the foot stay connected, as if there was a string between them. Try them all. It's about variety. Lay the foot back with the other sole and just notice how you feel sitting this one side of your body. What would it be like to tip yourself one way or to tip yourself the other way? Again, do you go over, or is it possible that you can move from the base a little bit better? And then I'm going to lie the other way on the mat, lie back down and rest. Feel how your left side feels different from your right, what the experience is. Is there more contact with the floor? Is there a deeper sense of your breath? And go ahead and bend the right foot, get a hold of the left, with the left hand under the right foot and the right hand under the ankle. So you got this similar kind of movement. And again, lengthen the foot towards the ceiling and then the heel back down towards the pelvis, the groin. And begin to telescope this from the pelvis. There's the back of your pelvis you can feel on the floor, but there's also the front of the pelvis in which you're reaching from, coming back, reaching, returning. And then there's all these directions. Oh, we can bring the head. Now remember how we just did the head and the foot staying the same distance apart? Can you do a circle with the head and the foot? And how do you use your spine to do this? So you're circling your head and your foot, but you're not just straining. It's your spine doing this, and it's the front of your spine. You can change the direction. Is it the right side you're using more than your left? Rest for a moment. You can keep hold of the foot, or you can let go and give it a little rest. And you can just put the foot on the floor, maybe turn the head a little bit, see what feels good. But then bring the foot back into this position and find, oh right, what were those other directions? Well, one of them was circling around in the direction of the ceiling, and the floor is the way. You can pick the head up to do this. You can circle your foot, the heel, without moving the head, with moving the head, with the foot, either way. How do you use your spine though to do this? You can move the head in a different circle. This is more advanced. Let's see how it feels. Give that a rest. When you go to pick your foot up, how do you do it? Do you strain in the neck, or is there a way in which you can use the floor and use your connection with the floor to bring the foot towards your hands towards your head? Pick your head up. We did that circle with the head and the foot staying together. Do that a couple of times, one direction and another. The head and the foot stay together. And then they come together and apart. Together and apart. Together and apart. Together. How do you do this? Again, how is this achieved in your spine rather than just your arm and your leg? Is there a way to make this satisfying that way? And then there's one other circle. So we have the plane of the ceiling, we have the plane of the walls, in a sense. We were just moving the plane of the walls. But now there's the plane of the walls to my feet and to my head, if I were to move the circle in this direction. So my head and my foot, and I'm rolling the floor. Can I make this movement come not from what I'm doing above the floor, way up here with my hands, but with what I'm doing with my spine? And what am I doing with my long left leg? Is it possible that this movement can come from what I'm doing with the hip socket all the way deep inside of my pelvis with my left leg? And these circles can be a circle one way with the leg and a different way with the head. You play with it. And then let that go. Let your legs go out long and rest. Take a moment to feel what these movements have done, to experience yourself in relationship with the floor, with the earth. Take a moment to experience the fact that you're lying on an earth, on a live earth. The earth is alive, it's rounded. You know, this floor is flat that you're on probably, but there's a sense, if you extend your consciousness, you'll notice that the earth itself is rounded and that you're lying on top of a rounded mobile. The earth is really hurtling itself through space at quite a fast speed, and it's rotating as well. And it's full of life. It supports life. And you're the life coming from the earth. Can you experience yourself as you come to sit up that you are rising, you are using the floor. The floor is, in a sense, providing you everything, all your movement, to come up and to sit and to be in a dynamic relationship with it. Putting the soles of your feet together again. You're going to get a hold of your ankle underneath your foot. You're going to hold. It's kind of nice to hold underneath rather than over on top, but you can choose if you want to be on top. But underneath gives you different experience. And we're just going to play with all those directions now. So feel which direction you want. There's a way in which to move the leg in relationship to the ceiling and the floor. There's a way to the walls to the sides, whether you move together or apart. And there's a way in which to move the leg in relation to the wall behind me and in front of me. Right? There's all these directions. So try them all out with this other leg. Just try them, experience them. What is it like to move the head and the foot towards each other and away from each other? And can this be a spinal movement more than an arm and a leg movement? Of course you're moving the arm and the leg, but yeah. Same thing with moving in this plane of the floor and the ceiling. Can it come from what you're doing with your spine, your pelvis, your rib cage? Whether you move them together or apart and together, you can move slightly different circles. Make it fun. And then the last one, if you move in the direction of the wall, in front and back, or side to side, you can move them together or coming together and apart. Now, lay the foot down and just kind of pick the knees up and let them go. Pick the knees up, let them go a few times. Just pick them up, let them go. Pick them up, let them go. Pick them up, let them go. And then kind of flap them. Boom, 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 boom. Let the head return to what you were doing before. You were rolling earlier, but now we're not picking up the foot. Just roll down your spine a bit. Roll into a comfortable position that when you come up, it's as if something were growing or rising up through you, and you feel the legs engage, you feel the sides of the feet engage, you feel yourself come all the way up. And then when you go down, it's as if this circle is pushing you up from the floor to circle you down. And the legs, the engagement of the legs, everything engages to rise you back up. So this circling, and then begin to include the knees in this movement, so that as we circle, you're going to go past center and you're going to arch the back a little. You're going to round the back as the knees come forward or towards each other. And then as they go apart, but it's coming from the bottom, and you're going to arch, your breastbone will lift. And then you go the other direction and just feel how this action feels now. Different place in your spine, so you can find where you're going to round from. You're going to round from one place, around from another. And leave that for a moment and come back to the left foot and just bring yourself into what would be if you were going to put your head underneath your leg. How would you do that? How would you would you go to the side, the front? How would you bring it? And I'm not going to be able to succeed today doing it, but there's a way in which you get your shoulder into your knee. This is advanced, but just do whatever it is you can do today, just to get it a little higher. See what that feels like and then go to the other side and just feel, I've got lots of movement in here. I have lots of room to explore, bringing as if the foot would go into the back of my head, which I have done before in my life. But right now I'm not there, haven't been practicing it, but I'm finding, how do I want to turn my spine? how do I bring a little farther without straining? So you don't want to pull, you want to find, oh, I'm coming up from the floor as I do it. Yeah. And then playing with bringing the leg over and around, over and around, other leg, over the other leg and around. And where can you start to play with putting it on the ground? Oh, putting the knee down, so I'm showing you, but you find your own, oh, I can bring it across and turn. So all these movements are meant to play and find how you might shift, turn, putting weight on the hands, letting the head, the head can arch, go, until you can crawl around a bit, finding yourself into this, into this, to this. Switching, sitting, switching, sitting. How comfortable are you with your spine and your pelvis and your legs right now? Finding the seated position and just breathing and finding how you're sitting on your sit bones. However your legs are crossed, you can change them the other way. Just feel, where's the balance? Where would I now come up? Would I switch? Would I roll? Would I use my spine? You're going to come to standing. However it is you come to standing. Just breathe. Look out of the horizon and sense your weight on your feet right now. Sense the quality of your standing. And very end here, can you become aware of your fingers? Are they curled? Are you stretching them? Just let your fingers lengthen towards the floor. They lengthen towards the floor, and as they do so, your breastbone lifts a little bit. Just feel and sense the opposite. Let your breastbone depress, fall down, let your head go a little bit forward, and then let your breastbone lift just a little bit as you lengthen your fingers towards the floor and lift the face towards the ceiling. And then come back. And when you're ready to walk, just turn the head, turn the pelvis, turn your ribs and your scapula and your sternum. Let it be a nice little swinging action. Have a little fun, walk in place of it, rolling through your feet. And then walk into your day.